Jai Gurudev, Bhanu Didi.
Jai Gurudev, Bhanu Ma.
It's
Jai Gurudev, Lara and Saira.
if you remember, Bhanu Didi, it's been a long time since you saw Saira. She had the privilege, yes, to play in your lap when she was just a baby when she came to the ashram. So this is the first time that she's joining me today and she's very nervous.
Not at all. You're looking so sweet, Saira.
Thank
Confident
you.
also.
But Bhanu Didi, we're so happy today to be here to discuss this absolutely wonderful book that you have written. I mean, I have spent the last few days reading it, and it is truly a thing of beauty. It is just so beautifully written. And I just wanted to say it is so incredibly descriptive that when I am reading the words you have written, I can literally hear the hum of the bees and I can feel the fabric of Sita Ma's blouse on the day that she got married, and I can smell the laddus that are cooking in the kitchen. So it's just been an incredible read to have, and it's a blessing to be able to really see the Ramayana through Sita's eyes, and this is a true treasure to have. So thank you so much for writing this.
Thank you. Thank you for reading it and appreciating it. If it has brought happiness to you, I'm very happy. That's a whole, because it is one of our rich legacies, you know. This is this our ancient epic. It's so beautiful, and I want more and more youngsters and all from all walks of life, I want them to experience this Rama and Sita as they were.
It's really been, I think, Bhanu Didi, more than even the happiness that it brings such a beautiful wisdom. And especially for women, when you're reading it, I mean, Sita Ma has been somebody as a woman who went through almost everything that a woman can go through in life, the trials, the tribulations, the heights of love and the lows of separation. And through it all, she was just the epitome of, you know, dignity and grace and love and devotion. And I think the wisdom that you also learn from this book, being a woman ourselves, is just something that is so special.
Yes.
So I want to ask you, Bhanu Didi, the one thing that really resonated with me while I was reading it is, you know, we live in such a fast-paced world. We're constantly on the go. What resonated with me was this innate ability that Sita Ma had to really just practice slow living, you know, to be able to appreciate the butterflies that were flying in the garden, the squirrels that were in the trees, to be able to appreciate the coolness of the breeze. I mean, we're all running today in a rat race where, you know, we have stopped being able to enjoy the beauties of nature, stopped being able to really focus or slow down. So how, Bhanu Didi, can we inculcate this kind of living or this kind of mindfulness in our own lives to be able to slow down and really enjoy the beauty of life?
Yeah, as you rightly said, we are always in being in a hurry, you know, being ambitious, or if you're caught up in emotions or judgments, that is when we can't really relax. So a pleasant and relaxed state of mind, only we can appreciate smaller things, of course, without losing sight of higher goal. No doubt we have to dream big or expand our horizon, but when you expand our horizon, it also includes all these little things, you know, everything in it. So that is why we need to learn how to be inclusive, you know. Then everything is there. We are that is what Sita, we can learn from Sita, how she was, even though she was in Ashokvatika, how she was still, you know, her mind was in the present moment and she tried to keep it pleasant. She knew that is a strength, you know, a pleasant moment, a strong, a pleasant mind or a strong mind is what is the strength she needed at that time. So she was like, she was so much with nature, with appreciating everything in the environment. So that is the spirit that we can inculcate by learning, from these great epics, how they train their mind to be in the present moment. So when you are in the present moment, you have that mindfulness, as you said, awareness, uh, to be all inclusive. And also, the whole universe is there inside your bigger goal, and not only thinking about oneself. Thinking big to me is an all inclusive formula. That is what she did. um, so we can also do that, we can slow down and then have a relaxed state of mind. That is through meditation, right? We all know Gurudev has given us the gift of meditation. And also think big with an all inclusive attitude. That is what is seva does to us, right? So all these things we do have, we are so fortunate to have this. Gurudev has given us this opportunity, to do seva, at the same time also uh, how to train our own mind and be through meditation, yoga. All this we can really slow down. This pandemic has really taught us to slow down and appreciate things, smaller things in life, if you see, right? So many things which we missed out being in a hurry. We had to slow down, we had to look around, and then it was sometimes I would say it was blessing in
Blessing.
disguise. If you take it in the right sense. Yeah.
No, definitely, Bhanu Didi. I think if nothing else, this pandemic and lockdown taught us to really prioritize what are, real priorities, or to identify what our real priorities are in life. And the fact that we were now locked into our homes, we slowly started noticing things that, that we had just passed by earlier. So reading this really sort of, made me feel that that is something that I want to inculcate every day in my life, is to just take time, like you said, to be in the moment.
Yeah.
So I wanted to ask you, Bhanu Didi, a very, very special bond in this book is the bond between Sitama and her mother, Sunena. I mean, it is so beautifully written by you in this book, the way that you have illustrated this bond of theirs. Sunena knew right from the start that Sita was not an ordinary child. She knew that she was something that was very special, who was very special, possibly even greater than her own being. But yet, as a mother, she had a sense of duty towards rearing this child through infancy, to bring her to adulthood. And there were so many things that she taught Sita. And the one quality that I really loved about Sunena is that she was completely non-judgmental. She accepted people, she accepted things for what they were, and then she moved on. And the other beautiful thing, as you have written, saying, that she was always so well groomed. She was a minimalistic, but she was so beautiful in that. And you can see that translate even into Sitama when she is in whichever environment she was in, whether she was in Ayodhya or whether she was in the forest or even in Ashoka Vatika. Even in her simplicity, there was such beauty about her. And the other beautiful thing is, as a mother, I know that I always wish for the best for my child. And yet, Sunena always trusted the Mother Divine to be able to choose the best for her daughter. She had that faith where she left it up to the Divine. So what are the things, Bhanu Didi, that we can learn from Sunena as a mother? What are the qualities that we can imbibe in ourselves as mothers to our daughters?
Yeah, you just now said how Sunaina, she had the faith in the higher power, in the Mother Divine, that only the best will happen. And also she had faith in her daughter. So, for every mother, her child is the best, isn't it?
Yes.
That is for sure. All of us feel our child is is the best. But doing that, we have to also think from their point of view. At the same time, we should learn the skill of how to train them also. In fact, when they are very small, we have to guide them. But there is a beautiful saying in Sanskrit that when the child becomes 16, you have to treat them as a friend. Till then you can guide them, you can tell them, you can reprimand them also. But then once they become 16, you have to treat them as friend. But Sunaina used to treat her even before as a friend. She used to have that confidence. Sita used to have the confidence that she can confide in her. So it is always said that it's like holding when you're riding a horse, we should hold the rein of the horse. At the same time, we should not hold it too tight, isn't it? So we need to learn to let go also whenever we are with our children. Usually what happens, we are in the name of uh, making them secure, giving them security, we really sometimes stifle the child, stifle. So this is what is very essential for every mother to know, that allow space and also provide security, without belittling their concerns. Usually the children will have their own concerns. See, at every stage we have our own concern, isn't it? See, when I was 3, I used to, when if you lose your toy, you will cry for the toy. But the same concern is not there when you're 13 or 14, isn't it? So the whole thing changes. So allow some space and provide security also. This is very important for us. And also at that time we have to see through their eyes, because for them at that time whatever they are experiencing is a big thing, big challenge for them. We should not belittle that. We'll say no, everything will be fine, giving them that confidence. Recently, I met a little girl. She was explaining to me how her grandmother is such a strong pillar of support for her. So whenever her mother says something, here it is so important for a joint family. When you are growing up in joint family, there is so much more security and so much more freedom. Both are there. So then she was telling me that how her grandmother said that whatever you want to do, you do it. I am there behind you. I will support you. So when grandmother told like this, the girl felt that whenever she had to go with her friends somewhere partying or do something, she would always think that she had the responsibility, because grandmother has so much faith and confidence in her, that she will do the right thing. So she said, I was so I had more responsibility, I felt more responsible for my actions. So like this, children learn when you give them freedom. So I also feel that when Sita saw Rama, in this book also I have written, that for the first time she gave her heart to him, right? They totally, she fell in love. So she immediately shared it with Sunaina and then Janaka also. And both of them they did not doubt her choice at all, even for a moment. This is the beauty in their relationship, either with the father or with the mother, And Sita had no hesitation to share it with her mother. That was the openness and confidence she had, that she will not be judged. So this is what we can learn. Every mother, if they can support their child uh, without judging them. But of course, we have to advise them, and they love to hear our advice also. But we need to learn the skill, isn't it? Now that doesn't mean that you agree for everything that they say. You have to tell them what is right. Even Janaka advises Sita about how to be with Rama, isn't it?
Yes.
Sunaina also advises her how to manage the family. If they want to do something that is not good for them, we have to learn to divert them with skill. This all we can learn. Where we get the skill is when the child is born, mother is also born, isn't it?
Yes.
Then as a mother, we get guidance from our mothers, our grandmothers, and also from such strong characters like Sunaina and Sita herself, and how a mother can skillfully handle the young minds of their children. These are all, that is where such wonderful scriptures, our epics, all these things can be a guide to us, in fact, in
Sure.
such, isn't it? We can
Yes.
find really, it is really a treasure.
No,
I feel
definitely.
like that. Mhm.
It definitely is, Bhanu Didi, for sure. Sarah, you want to ask Bhanu a question?
Hi.
Yeah.
What do you want to ask?
Bhanuma, one of my favorite characters in the book was Sita's sister, Urmila.
Uh-huh.
I've always wanted a sibling. But it must have been very difficult for her to be separated from her sister. And how was she able to fall asleep for 14 years?
Oh, of course, they did miss each other. There is a wonderful story, it is there that how Lakshmana uh, wanted to stay awake and safeguard, for 14 years to take care of Rama and Sita in the forest. So he requests Urmila, saying that now you sleep for me. So Urmila had to pay that debt to Nidra Devi, that is what the story says. And they also say she was in Yog Nidra. So which means her senses were withdrawn. It's not uh, it's a very beautiful story. Basically, it says that how both of them were so close to each other, and they were like Rama and Sita were like two sides of the same coin. Even they were like that. They were inseparable. They knew they both of them were so close. So she said, I will sleep for you. And that means, when you say your senses were withdrawn, it means that she reposed in herself, where there is no separation. There is, if you go to the self, everything is one. Uh, so how to say it, in the story it is like that. One more thing is, there is a mystical dimension, in these stories. So when you look at it through that mystical and magical possibilities, there is a field of all possibilities, we say. In a few decades back, there was no car. One would have they would have said, oh, what is automatic cars are there now, we can see without any driver. um, People wouldn't have agreed to us, but now we do have it. And you see, we have WhatsApp. In 1 second from here, you sit and you can send messages to America, such a long distance away, right? So it is like that. So everything, these are all that possibilities, field of all possibilities. So it is good to wonder and keep open mind for all this, keep an open mind for all possibilities. What do you say?
Yeah. May
Isn't
I ask
it?
another
It's
question?
magical.
Yes. These are
Yeah.
magical things, no, Sarah, that can happen. Yeah.
Yeah.
Want to ask another question? Okay.
Okay.
Can you please tell us a little more about Sita's adventures when she was a child? She loved being in plays and she could become any kind of character she wanted to. Can you tell us more about her adventures?
Adventure, yeah. Adventure. She liked to play with animals. She liked to ride horses, and she'd like to take a lot of challenges. And then she used to have lot of conversation with them. Unspoken words, communication with the animals. If she says something like, for once, she controlled the tiger, right, in the
Yeah.
forest. So how she had that unspoken communication, she had that skill. They say that Sita had 64 kalas. She learned 64 kalas. Means she knew so many. She knew archery so well. She knew horse riding. She knew what is that, swords, all the um, you can say many things she learned. Even cooking she learned. She was the best cook. So she was multi-faceted, multi-talented, you can say. So that is, the book has so many stories, you should read it. What do you say?
She was very excited, Bhanu Didi, to hear all this, most excited that Sita used to love to cook and that Sita used to love to be in plays, because these are the two things that Saira also loves. She loves to do all kinds of plays and dress up, and she loves to cook.
Ah, how nice.
Bhanuma, I want to ask, even while she was in Ashok Vatika,
Yeah.
Sitama had this most beautiful morning rituals that she used to do. She used to do Sandhya Vandam, she used to do sun salutations, chanting of the Gayatri Mantra, visualizations. How important is it to have a morning ritual? And what are the benefits that it brings to us in our lives?
As a, yoga practitioner, you are also such a great yogi, right? You know the benefits of doing yoga, benefits of doing meditation. What are they? It brings your mind to the present moment and make the mind strong, isn't it? So
Yes.
otherwise, what happens, with anything, even in the best of comfort, you can feel down, you can grumble about it, but a strong mind never grumbles. It always is grateful for all the things. So what she used to do is, it's like, if you see any sadhak, if you miss meditation one day also, you feel that you have missed something, isn't it?
Yes.
So we have to, these habits are cultivated, and then these techniques make the mind strong and focused, and that helped her. She needed that mind then, of course, because she was in a circumstance where everything, she was surrounded by asuras, so much of negativity. Still you have to keep your mind positive, right?
Yes.
So all these techniques made you more positive, more strong. It was a big support for her. That is why she knew about it. No, that is the whole thing. That's why Gurudev says, no, happiness is an attitude that you can cultivate. That is what she did with these practices, because the positivity is there when you do these practices. It brings about positivity in the atmosphere, and yeah, that is what he knew also. You also become positive, and that way you are supported, right?
Yes.
See, if you see in this pandemic, all these doctors, um, in fact, how it is so important. Gurudev gave meditation every day, and during this pandemic, when the mind was so um, down, in fact, he used to say all the time, a strong mind in a weak body is okay. It can carry a weak body, but a weak mind cannot even carry a strong mind, a strong body, right? So that is where all these techniques will support us to have a strong mind, and Sita needed that there. So that is how she knew about it. That's what happened.
And maintained it. This is true, Bhanu Didi. And I know also for myself, as a mother, as a wife, as a daughter, if I don't get my practice out first thing in the day, I will never have time for it. All the responsibilities and duties then take the rest of your day, and then you keep postponing, it never happens. So for me,
I
I
know.
think removing that 1 hour in the morning to yourself, even if it means getting up early and doing it, really gives you the grounding that you need.
Correct. See,
So,
when we have
Banu,
the tools, we have to make use of it, right? When you have the
yes,
technique, when you have learned it, and you know it is helping us, so we are in. That's why Gurudev always says only intelligent people turn to spirituality. They want to manage their own mind, isn't it? So these techniques help you to manage our own mind.
definitely.
Mm.
Banu, one of the other relationships that I really loved in this book is the relationship that Janaka had with his daughter. So I have a very special relationship with my father. And there are some wonderful teachings and beautiful moments in the book that he has spent with Sita. So, one of the things that really stood out for me was Janaka's explanation to Sita about how asuras exist. That it is not necessary that, that it is not only birth, but one also has to guard against their thoughts, their words, their deeds. And so this is what I wanted to ask Bhanu Didi. What causes a mind to turn towards negativity? Are people inherently, sort of evil? Are they born evil? Or is it circumstances that make them that way?
Yeah, it's a very right understanding. It's not just birth that makes one asura. Because if you see, even in Asura clan, there were Prahlada, there was Bali, there was Vibhishana, Trijata herself. She was such a good lady. So even though they were born in Asura family, it's the purity of your intention, and actions and words that matter, I feel. So good qualities can be imbibed. So here is where the company that you keep makes a difference. Because if you have the wrong friends, that can influence you towards the wrong choices, isn't it? So even though Sita was surrounded by asuras, she kept the company of nature. That's why she really loved things around her. And then her thought was only Rama. Rama was within her all the time. So she was not affected by it at all. So it is very important to how you choose how you choose your company. Right company is so important. And also we should have the strong mind, which is a strong mind is a sensitive and sensible mind. It should be. When we say strong mind, it should not be like a rude one,
Yes.
making people feel that, oh, I am very strong, and then having rudeness in you is not strength. A strong mind is very sensitive and sensible also. This is what Sita had, and so a strong mind is also in the present moment. When you are in the present moment, it doesn't form any impression, because our mind always is oscillating between past and future. That is where we tend to, when you think about past, oh, all these things happened, so much, the pandemic happened, so many people went, all that will make us more stressed, and anxiety will happen. Or if you are thinking about future planning, then also you will have uncertainty. Is there so much of anxiety, stress happens. So that is when we have to bring the mind to the present moment, and that we all know how we can do. That is the beauty, when your mind is in the present. That is through meditation, yoga, pranayam, and also stories from our epics, or good values at home you learn through your grandmother, father, and also through proper eating, how things to eat.
Yes.
We say, no, jaise an vaise man. So also proper books to read. All these nurture the right values, isn't it?
Yes. That is absolutely correct, Bhanu Didi.
Yeah.
There's also a quality with Janaka Bhanu Didi where it says, that he was a great learned king, yet he
Yeah.
had great dispassion. He was
Mhm.
purely a witness to his own enormous duties. So,
Correct.
how does one cultivate dispassion in the face of enormous responsibility, Bhanu Didi?
See, when we have to climb to the peak, the steps may be beautiful, You appreciate its beauty and you are grateful that the steps have helped you to climb further. But you have to let go of the step to go to the peak, right? Every step we have to let go. Like that, even in life, that is what is letting go, is dispassion. You have to do something higher. When you have to take higher responsibility or goal, you have to have dispassion. That's what Janaka did. He had so much passion for everything. At the same time, he had dispassion, So that is what happens when you are so learned, when you know, when you are so learned. And he was such a knowledgeable person, isn't it? He was a yogi himself. So that's having a vision for the higher and appreciation for whatever is in the moment was that is what is real dispassion. Gurudev says often, no, you have to have a vision for the higher and appreciation for whatever you have right now in the moment. So that brings a real dispassion. Yeah.
Correct. I know you mentioned in the book that he was a Raja Rishi, so he was also somebody who was not focused on the material, but he was focused on that higher purpose, on that higher divinity. And what a wonderful, I wish we had leaders like that now. I think this is the need of the
Janaka
hour.
is the standard for learning, is used to say. If you are a scholar, if you are a learned person, Janaka was the standard hallmark for it.
For sure.
That
Definitely.
was his.
Sarah, you want to ask?
Yeah.
Okay.
Bharima, you have mentioned many times in the book that Sita could heal little children. Lots of people would bring their children to her to heal them. How was she able to do this?
Oh, consciousness has the power to heal, you know that, na? And she was so much, she had that kind heart. She was all the time wishing well for others, and she was a contented soul. So that whenever you have contentment, you have the power to heal. She was all the time happy and contented in the moment. So that is what is the key, no? For you to have that power to heal others. Yeah.
And I also told her, Bhanu Didi, that she needs to listen to her mama, because her mama also knows how to heal her. Her mama knows how to mix all those things that have to be required, that she has to eat, that are going to heal her when she requires it. Yes, yes.
Oh, she wants to ask.
There's an incident in the book where Mother Sita gives her sons dalia to eat with a tulsi leaf on top.
Yeah, Dalia.
My mama also makes me eat all healthy things. She disguises in my food.
Yeah, you know it is healthy, see?
Is it very
so that is
important
what, that's
to
why
eat?
mothers, tell.
Is it very important to eat all these herbs even if we don't like them?
Yeah. But we can always say, tell your mother to make it healthy. Healthy should be healthy, at the same time tasty. Yeah, tasty recipes we can give you.
Does mama make you eat anything that is not tasty, Saira? Even all the healthy things are tasty, right?
There's two things. Moringa powder shots.
This is all good. She has been having, Bhanu Didi, she's been having our Art of Living Sriti Tattva immunity kit. She has been having it every single day for the last almost 2 years now.
Yeah.
So this has helped her so much. And Saira is a good girl. She has everything that she is told to have.
Like mama, like daughter. Like mama, right?
It's mostly
Saira?
because mama forces me.
But up till, see what Bhanu Didi said, up till the time you're 16, mama knows best, okay?
Yeah. You still have 6 years to control.
Hopefully. Bhanu Didi, I want to ask, Sita makes a wonderful reference in the book to the flowers, the Brahma Kamalas. They are the most beautiful, delicate flowers that bloom on the most nondescript plant. And it is in a way signifies Sita's life also, that with so many twists and turns, and no matter what came Sita's way, she just blossomed wherever that she was. How can we cultivate this kind of a quality in our lives, Bhanu Didi, when life gives us a few fatkas and a few twists and turns?
See, that is where, the readiness to be in the moment is the key here. In fact, I keep telling people, when you are in the moment, there is no anticipation, which leads to anxiety, isn't it? When you think about something, oh, it's going to come, anxiety will be there. And then when there is no anxiety, then you're able to accept whatever it is. Anticipation, expectation, or worrying about what others are thinking about you. These are what don't allow you to be in the moment. When we think, oh, I'm doing this, or somebody is commenting on something, or you're having some expectation, it doesn't allow you at all to be in the moment. So in every situation, the mind can be grateful or grumbling. This is what I always have learned. Any situation, if you see, Sita was in the palace one day and forest the next day, isn't it? She could have been so much all the time grumbling, but she never grumbled. That is a strong mind, a beautiful mind, and that flowers even at every, as you mentioned, at every turn. This I got the idea because of we have so many Brahma Kamalas plants, and the leaf is really not all that beautiful. It has it's like a cactus look. You have seen the Brahma Kamala, right?
Yes.
But at the end of the thing, the flower that blooms just for one day, it blooms. It's just absolutely, delightful, and it's just so beautiful. You can't explain how beautiful it is. So that is where, it is very essential for us to learn this, how one can, at every step, this is it. This is the whole present moment. You don't get that distorted images, or that anxiety or the stress which cloud our whole outlook in life. So that is where that present moment is a strong mind. When you live in the present moment, that really contributes to a pleasant and a strong mind. And that is what I learned from that thing. So I really wanted people to. It's a beautiful
It is a beautiful reference. You really feel like they say that the lotus also grows in the muddiest of ponds. You find
Yeah.
beauty in those
That is in the
places.
mud, and this is in such a, you should see the leaves. It's so different. It's just, I wouldn't call anything ugly. It is also another creation of the divine. But it is, if you see the leaf, you cannot imagine such a beautiful flower will come out of it. And we had so many blooms now recently during it, the pandemic also. We had so much time to appreciate all that. It only blooms in the night. Only one day it blooms. Have you seen the Brahma Kamala? It is
Yes,
really
yes,
nice.
yes, yes, I
It's
have.
very ethereal flower, blossom. So we learn from that. Everything is wonderful in life, every stage. That is what we learned from Sita also, whether in palace or in forest. She had that mind because she only followed the footsteps of Rama. And Rama means Atma, that self. When you are in the self, everything is only beautiful for us. Mm.
Lovely.
You are above that duality.
Bhanu Didi, one of the most dramatic parts of the Ramayana, of course, is when Lord Rama is exiled. And
Yeah.
Lakshmana and Sita Mata decide to follow him into the forest. So this is a lot of times there has been debates on it, as to why she chose and why Lord Rama even allowed her to come into the forest. But she says it beautifully herself in the book, as you have written, saying that it is my sense of duty. It is my duty to go where my Lord is. Even separate from the longing of separation, or how difficult that separation be. First, her thought was that is my duty. Where my Lord is, I need to be able to look after him for his well-being, anything that he might need. So, Bhanu Didi, I've grown up in a family of a military family. My father has been in the Air Force for many, many, many years. He has fought 3 wars for India, in 65, 69, 71. So we've always grown up with this sense of duty being inculcated in us from a very young age. I mean, he has always put his own life at risk, always put his family second and his country first. So for us, I feel, we are privileged in a way to grow up feeling that something is bigger than you. There is a sense of duty. There is something that is far greater that you kind of live for. But for a lay person, Bhanu Didi, how do people feel or build that sense of duty inside of them, to give themselves something to look forward to or something to stand for that is greater than their own selves.
Yeah, like you said, no, if you see all the soldiers, all of them who protect our borders, they have always placed duty to the country before above anything else, isn't it?
Yes.
So this comes from inspiration, in fact, and fortunate are those who are able to contribute like this, as you said about your father, and they are real heroes. Here there are known heroes, some are known and some are unknown. We have seen this, in this thousands of art of living volunteers. You have seen, no, how they're ready to serve at the time of floods, or when tsunami was there, earthquake was there, even during this pandemic. Just one spark of inspiration from Gurudev. Just he has said we need to work, and so many people have worked. Even the red zone in Iraq, if you see, where even the UN doesn't, they couldn't go, no, they didn't go to bring peace there, many to the affected people there, no, he has visited Erbil twice amidst all the turmoil, and he had a peace conference in Kurdistan. So this is where he says, he was saying how we need to have peace, peace conference where there is conflict, not sitting in some peaceful place, isn't it? So these are the you can quote so many things from Gurudev's life. Only he has gone to Cuba. I also was there at that time, to meet the gorillas, and then in Sri Lanka, the LTT.
Yes.
So there is so much of there is he how so many times he has placed um, his own personal safety beyond, that in front of for others, even before his personal safety, he has really worked in these places. So there are such wonderful, inspiring leaders in our lifetime like this. Also, if you see in our ancient scriptures also, there are so many such heroes. They're truly inspiring for us. um, that is so when you hear about these things, share about these stories, hear them, we also feel like that, the values of caring and sharing, they will be nurtured in us also. It becomes very natural for us to take responsibility. So that is why, we need to keep inspiring each other. We need to have more, um, isn't it, more such interaction with people, sensitize people with all the good work that are so many different organizations doing. So then we also can learn, many can get inspired, I feel. Isn't it? Because you also know of ours is the next to Red Cross, ours is the largest voluntary based organization, isn't it? Service to humanity, that is the logo. Share and care. Hmm.
I agree, Bhanu Didi. I remember in May of this year, during COVID, the second lockdown, my husband Mahesh, he also caught COVID, and it was my responsibility to keep the house safe, so that nobody else, the staff, Saira, myself, that we were all safe. And I had the good fortune of being asked to do a fundraiser that Gurudev was also part of. But for 2 weeks that Mahesh was in isolation, it really gave me such a centering where I was focused entirely on that, and in just pouring myself into that, in the duty to, the sense of duty towards that fundraiser, everything else went smoothly. Thank God, there is nobody else. House was safe, husband recovered. It really feels that once that invokes inside you and you give it 100%, everything else around you gets taken care of. So it's really it's wonderful.
Yeah.
Bhanu Didi, I wanted to ask, Sitama also shared an
So many
incredible
things you are asking.
so much in the book. I have sat and I've made all these notes. I was like, okay, this I want to ask. But she had such an amazing relationship also with not one, not two, but three mother-in-laws, you know. And
Yeah.
she had this amazing ability to make each one of them feel special. So much so, in fact, when they came to visit her in the forest, you know, each one told Lord Rama that, you know, she made me feel I think she's ignoring the other one because she gave me all the attention. And each of them had the same thing to say, which also amused him, you know, greatly. So I think this is such a challenge, Bhanu Didi, because we have in our lives, especially as you said, when you live in a joint family, you know, you're not only a mother, daughter, daughter-in-law, wife, sibling, and it falls to the daughters of the house to create a harmonious environment around, to create a joyous environment.
Mm.
So what are the things that we can learn from Sita Ma? That I know there are a lot of things which are her own mother taught her, you know, but few key things on how to maintain this balance.
Ah, for this we need enormous patience. She had that patience, I think. She learnt it from her mother Sunaina. She said we must have enormous patience, you know, because there are different, especially in big families, there are people with different mindsets, no? And everybody feels they are right, isn't it? And if you are a perfectionist, it's quite tough for us to um, accept it. So that is where patience will help you to give room for some imperfection, you know. That is the essential quality for to create harmonious atmosphere. So she had that, and she had real good skill, you know, to how to bring them also to that present moment. Right now I am with you, you know, that so much of love she could give. That really is that's what Sita stands out. You know, that is why we all, even now after 7,500 years later, also she's so special to us. She is a role model to us, right? So that is the best quality that we all can imbibe, that patience, you know. And definitely we need to leave out a little room for some imperfection. Otherwise we think everything should be according to our nose. No, no, like according to our taste. So this, if we can learn, that is only mainly through patience and being non-judgmental, you know. It may look very airy fairy, but it is not totally impossible.
It is definitely a challenge. This, I think, is a lifelong one of those things you have to work at every day to get better and better at it.
Yeah.
So, Bhanudi, this might appear as a little bit of a strange question, but I ask it because I feel that there is a relevance to all people who are watching us today. A lot of them, I'm sure, are, you know, newly married, young couples. So when you're reading the Ramayana, you read that 10 years, a decade had passed after Sitama and Lord Rama had gotten married before they were sent on exile to the forest. And in 10 years, Bhanu Didi, they had no children. Nowadays, after 1 or 2 years of marriage, everybody, your family members, your friend circle, everybody starts asking you, so when are you planning a family? When are you starting? You know, no children, no children. Why no children? You know, so this has become, I feel it puts so much pressure on young people to, before they can even settle into a marriage, to actually start a family. So how was it, Bhanu Didi, that even after a decade of being together, that they had no children, neither did Lakshmana and Urmila?
Yeah. So first of all, they were very young when they got married. They exactly the time, the exact year they don't know. They say between 8 and 12. That is what Sita was, and they were very small. So they enjoyed in those 10 years their nice companionship. They were really children. No, they played together. They learned together. But when time came, they went to the forest, you know, after that. And it was not a very very conducive place in the forest. Because every day he was busy with, Rama was so busy working, isn't it? He was helping the rishis, um, you know, and making sure that all the asuras, the negative force, were all not troubling these rishis, no, those days. So he was every day he was busy like that. So that was not a very suitable place to have children also. Then when they came back, they had, no. That is what Rama's. If you see Lakshmana and Bharata, they were all younger to Rama.
Right.
So that is they followed Rama. That is what you can think about. You can have your own
Yes.
yeah, imagination. Hmm.
Bhanu Didi, Lord Rama had
But
an
I would say that when people are ready, when the right time comes, right soul will come to us. So we don't have to
yes.
worry about this, and we need to have that maturity. But some people say old, we can say old fashioned, not old fashioned. Um, we old generation, the previous generation had a different thought process, but now we all other the next generation has different thought process, right? So it does differ from generation to generation. So we have to have patience, we have to hear them out, but we should do what is good for us, right?
For sure,
Be in the
definitely.
middle path, balance it out. Not that we discard their advice totally. They used to say in olden days, if you have a child immediately, then the child is the bond between the husband and wife. They won't be focusing on each other, they will focus more on the child. But nowadays, it is they can do whatever. Even when you have a child also, it doesn't mean that they're not, no,
Yes.
having difference of opinion. So that is why it is better to have your own um, time, live, understand yourself, and then start a family. That way also it's good.
No, I definitely think so. I'm sure today lots of young couples are hoping that they lived in the time of the Ramayana, so they were able to focus on themselves and on each other. Bhanu Didi, Lord Rama had this incredible presence that was all prevailing, whether he
Yeah.
was physically present or not. There's a wonderful incident in the book which you write saying, that Sita Ma was singing to her in-laws, her mother-in-laws, and the harmony of her song changed when Lord Ram walked into the room. She was not even aware that he had walked into the room. Similarly, when Ravana comes to meet Sita Ma in Ashoka Vatika, he senses something in her that is not all her, but that is Lord Rama in her. And he feels that he acts it changes him and his entire the way that he is towards her. So is it, Bhanu Didi, that when you perceive divinity or when you sense it, that it totally changes your output as well?
Yes, of course. It does. You feel certain way in the presence of some people. Your whole energy also. You can feel it, sense it, isn't it? If somebody is relaxed, you also feel relaxed. If somebody is tense, if somebody is angry, you also get that vibe. So we convey more through our presence, our vibration, isn't it? When we meet people. So definitely the divine presence, nobody can miss out, no? And that divine energy. And we all have that energy in us, the energy, the divine presence of Sita, divine presence of Rama. That is where we can. Everybody can experience that when you meditate, when you are happy, when you're non-judgmental, no, when you want to help others, when you're compassionate. All these good qualities have the divine power, divine energy in it, right? So these can be imbibed, these can be they're all they can all be experienced, and we already are divine, and these are all some stresses which are there to which is covering them. We can uncover them, then the real divinity in us is shown through. So that is the presence they usually speak about, and we do feel it, isn't it? You feel so comfortable in your mother's presence. You feel absolutely, absolute comfort there. You ask your child, oh, I'm in my mother's lap. So how you felt about your mother, father, right? So that is the divine presence. That is the divinity.
Bhanu
So
Didi, talking about divine presence and divinity, in the book you say that the name of Rama is more powerful than the person itself, that the name is more subtler than the form. Can you explain that a little bit to us?
Oh, there is a nice story that I've written there. um, uh, once a king comes to visit Rama after the Pattabhishekam, and then he's so happy to see Rama, and he goes straight to Rama and doesn't wish anybody, especially Vishwamitra, the Kula Guru. No, he's sitting there, and then Vishwamitra gets so angry that he's ignored me, this king. So he tells Rama, go and kill him. No. So then that king comes, runs to Hanuman, please save me, So then when he says in the name of Rama, you please save me, then Hanuman has to save. So Hanuman and Rama gets into fight. Can you imagine? They both stand there to fight. It was the last resort. So then Hanuman goes and stands in front of Rama with folded hands. He cannot really fight with Rama, right? So he stands with closed eyes and chanting Rama's name. Then Rama anyway fires his arrow at him, and then the arrow comes and goes round and round Hanuman, and it falls at his feet. So this is one of the first Ramabana, they say that failed. It didn't have any effect. That missed its mark, they say, no. So then at that time, he takes the next arrow. Then Vasishta is there. He goes. Vasishta tells Vishwamitra, now tell Rama not to, do this. Ask him to stop this war. It is not correct, because between the divine and the devotee there should not be any war. That is when that is how they say, no, that even Rama's arrow could not have any effect. It didn't touch it didn't go, missed its mark, they say. So his name was so powerful, he prayed for that. And also there is one more story, that how when they were building a bridge, that Ram Setu, to the stone, the monkeys were throwing stones, writing the name, on the top, saying Ram, Ram. Then it was floating, any stone they were putting. And then Rama was he got very curious. Oh, these are all doing, let me also help. And he also takes one stone and puts it, and then it just sinks. Then one monkey is seeing that, and he is laughing so loud. What is this? Rama gets very embarrassed. What's happening? My stone, these monkeys are more powerful than me. Then the monkey comes and tells, we have written your name and we are praying to you. So the stones are floating, but the one who is saving us, who is protecting us, if from his hand only the stone falls, you are only discarding the stone. Do you think the stone is going to float? It's going to sink only. So then Rama is, he is so amused and happy with all this devotion, of his bhakts. So they say that there is more power for the Rama's name than Rama himself. These are the stories that we can enjoy. It's so beautiful, isn't it? Basically saying that qualities of these are the divine qualities of consciousness. When you remember Rama, what do you remember? His steadfastness, his responsibility, his love, his commitment. And these are the qualities that really, get in you, that get uplifted and make you a better person.
So, Bhanu Didi, this brings us to a question which many, many people have asked every time you hear the Ramayana, the first time that you hear the Ramayana. A very important question that comes to people's minds. If Lord Rama and Sita Ma had this eternal love that went back many lifetimes between them, and he's able to rescue her from Ravana's clutches, defeat Ravana, why did Lord Ram have to ask Sita Ma to prove her purity, to walk through that test of fire, to a point where even the person who followed him blindly and was his closest, like his shadow, which was his brother Lakshmana, it even made Lakshmana question or think or doubt his own Lord and his own brother. So why was that, Bhanu Didi, that Sita was made to kind of face that kind of humiliation after waiting so long with such longing for her Lord to arrive? And what was that secret of the fire that Hanuman was aware of that Lakshmana was not?
There are two ways to look at this. If we keep asking why, so sometimes these unanswered questions only lead to anger. We feel, when I was little, I used to really get angry because I didn't understand. I used to say, why this happened, What happened, it happened. But now if you see how Sita faced it, that's what is so important for us. She was completely untouched by the whole thing, isn't it? She just, now if you understand this, in fact, you can explain also this, but you see how her state of mind was. She was really untouched by this. She just walked as though it was just another, carpet or just she walked into the fire and came out unscathed, isn't it? Now we can understand this. Gurudev explained so beautifully recently. There are 5 types of fires. So it is Bhutagni, there is Bhutagni, there is Jataragni, Kamagni, there is Badabagni and Premagni. So Bhutagni means the heat in the body, which helps, which differentiate a corpse from living being, that heat in the body, right? And then there is Jataragni, which is a digestive fire, which helps us to digest our food and makes us healthy, isn't it? And then there is Kamagni, the fire of desire, which helps in continuum of life. And then there is Badabagni. This is the 4th Agni, which is really tough to cross over. This is the fire of humiliation, fire of what is that? Criticism, you can say. Fire of criticism, fire of humiliation, which is very tough to cross over. And if you cross over that, then there is only Premagni or Gnanagni. So if you see, Sita was all the time in that state, in the Premagni, that fire of love. So this didn't matter to her at all. Because there was no two at all. If you see, when Rama said for her to cross, if Rama and Sita were like 2 sides of the same coin. If she walked through the fire, he also has walked through the fire. So there was no question. If you they were so much in love with other, means there is no question of criticism or doubt at all. It was not a fire of doubt or criticism or humiliation. So that is where she really and also, if you see, there's another story where Rama knew, when they were before the event when Shurpanaka came and all these things happened. No, it is all explained there in Panchavati. He tells her, now is the time for you, Sita, to abide in the fire of the self. He already warns her. So that means, when you withdraw your senses and you repose in the self, that is Atmarama, in the being, then nothing touches you, right? Then whatever happens around you, it is it is not going to leave any impression on you. That's what happened to Sita. The whole time she was in Ashokavatika, even though she was, of course, she did have all the emotions, like, she did miss him, she did cry helplessly, then, all that thing happened. But it is like, when you have a prism and then it reflects light, whatever light is, whatever color is brought in front of it. It's red is there, red is reflected, green is reflected, like that. Emotions were there, but then once that is gone, there is no impression on the prism, in that crystal. Like that, even she was not at all affected by any of these emotions, and because she was abiding in the fire of the self. This is a very beautiful story, and they also say this is the real secret of the fire, and Brahma and all the devatas, they see this, when um, Rama tells Sita, you walk in this fire, then Brahma says, and why you are doing this? No, this is not correct. Then he says, Sita knows, I know about it. So then also in the end, the Brahma says that those who hear this story will never be affected by the fire of humiliation. This is there in Ramayana also. So this is, of course, this in this story, sometimes we don't understand so totally, but then when you look at it from the point of view of Sita, how her mind did not get affected by this. Just imagine the strength of her mind, no?
Yes.
And also how Rama would have felt. Sita was only thinking of Rama, when he has said, that means he has also walked in the fire, isn't it? So that was their bonding, so much close. There was no this thing, and that is the love, fire of love, Premagni, Gnanagni. You see, when there is you see from knowledge point of view, any event, you don't see just the event, you see beyond the event. That is where knowledge is understood there. So that is the beauty of the Sita's Ramayana. And so much you have asked. I think we have
I
spoken so
know,
much.
yes. Bhanu Didi, if I don't let my
Um,
daughter now finally sign off and do something, she's poking me from underneath the table. When is my chance?
oh.
So quickly now, Saira, we've taken so much time of Bhanu Didi. So now very quickly, you want to wind up, ask one last thing, and then you have something that you wanted to say to Bhanu Didi also, right? To Bharma?
Yeah, tell me.
Okay. First you can ask and then you can say.
Bhanua, can you explain the different types of wealth as Sita explained it to the twins?
Different types of
Wealth.
wealth. There are 8 wealths, Ashtalakshmi. So that is Adi Lakshmi, and then that is for memory of the source, no, Adi Lakshmi. Then Veera Lakshmi, which is for Vijay Lakshmi is the Vijay Lakshmi is what? Victory. Veera Lakshmi is the strength. Bhagya Lakshmi is what? Fortune, yeah. And Dhanalakshmi is wealth again. Dhanya Lakshmi is wealth of dhanya, grains, we say, no, grains, yeah. And then Santana Lakshmi, grains. Dhanya Lakshmi is basically abundance. All these Lakshmis are abundance, And then Santana Lakshmi is the wealth as progeny, as children. And then there is Vidya Lakshmi, which is a wealth of education, how we learn. All these things are there. 8 all over, all these 8 aspects of Lakshmi. This is what you asked, no?
Yes, the
So
different types
these
of
all
wealth.
the 8 aspects bring prosperity, okay? Prosperity, happiness, name, fame, all that it comes.
Yeah.
So, Bhanudiyadi, I was telling Saira the part in the book where how Sita was found, how Janaka found her when he went to plow the field. She was found in
Yeah.
the wooden box when he was plowing, and she
Mm.
was the daughter of Earth. So Saira
Yeah.
was very excited. She was very excited because she has just learned a poem, which is about children being of the earth. So she asked me whether
Oh,
she can recite this for
of
you this evening.
course, she has to do it.
Yeah,
That's why she
ready?
was called, Sita was also called Bhumija, no? Bhumija, daughter of earth. Yeah, sing. Mhm.
Say, you want to say your poem? Say.
हम हैं सूरज चांद सितारे, कवि द्वारका प्रसाद महेश्वरी। हम हैं सूरज चांद सितारे, हम नन्हे नन्हे बालक हैं, जैसे नन्हे नन्हे रजकन, लेकिन हम नन्हे रजकन ही हैं, विशाल पर्वत बन जाते हैं। हम बच्चों की दुनिया ही एक अजीब गरीब निराली, हम सूरत मूरत मंदिर की हर सूरत है भोली भाली। यहाँ न कोई भेद रंग का, सबके सब हम एक रंग है, पूरा पश्चिम उत्तर दक्षिण सभी दिशाएं एक संग है। पृथ्वी माँ के राज दुलारे, हम हैं सूरज चांद सितारे। एक माँ की गोदी में सारे बच्चे बड़े हुए हम, एक हमारी आसमान छत, एक हमारी सास पवन है। धूप चांदनी के कपड़ों से ढका हुआ हम सब का तन है, हम है एक विश्व के तारे, हम है सूरज चांद सितारे। धन्यवाद।
Oh, how sweet! What a great poetess you have become.
She has learned all of this, Bhanu Didi, by herself, and she's been very excited to say it to you today in the evening.
Good, very well done.
Thank you, Bhanu Didi. We've taken so much of your time today. We could go on and on with this book, but it is such a beautiful read. I would recommend to everybody who is watching this today to buy this book, to read it, to keep it very close to them, preferably on their bedside table, something that they can read a little bit of every single day, either when they wake up before they go to sleep at night. And Saira was very excited. She's really looking forward to the Ramayana festival that is going to happen, that Art of Living is doing. So I think the dates are November 20th and 21st and November 27th and 28th. So she's definitely going to sign up. And I know that there are some wonderful activities planned. So this is an incredible initiative also to allow our children to really know the beautiful epics. And we thank you so much, Bhanu Didi, from the bottom of our heart for giving us this opportunity and giving us your time.
Thank you, Bhanu.
Always a pleasure. Jai Gurudev,
Jai
Saira.
Gurudev.
Jai Gurudev,
Jai
Lara.
Jai Gurudev. Bhanu Didi. Sweet.